Hello and welcome. Welcome back to Port City Airsoft. We're talking today about just two-man room entry mostly. Some like just kind of working with your battle buddy. Some things that we've kind of learned over just the years that we've been playing together and stuff that we found works for us. Just kind of break down a few things about approaching the door, pieing the door, entering the room, what you should do when you get in there, all that kind of stuff. And then doing that with a partner, what that kind of looks like, what both of you should kind of be doing in that. So yeah, we're just gonna be talking about some of that.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff, like we said in some of our previous videos, is centered around Airsoft. You may see some things that you recognize from the Real Steel community, talking about practical like CQB tactics and weapons training stuff. We're Airsofters, we're not police, we're not military. We do like to do Real Steel shooting, we like to run courses like that, but we're focusing on Airsoft. So this is to help you enhance your gameplay on the field, and should not be considered like professional advice for real life scenarios where there is danger of actually being injured. So, but yeah, we've played for several years and we're excited to share with you guys what we've learned along the way.
All right, so we're here. We've got our blasters. We're gonna be talking through kind of approaching the door for the first time. So the things that we do when we're doing that, as we're approaching the door, you obviously want to be focused on this. You want to make sure that this door isn't about to open up and someone's not about to come out of here and start blasting you and your guy. So it's good for one of you, usually the one man, so me in this instance, to be watching the door, right? So I'd have security on this as we're kind of walking up on it, and my two-man is going to have my off angle. So that's either going to be further down the hallway that we're on, either if this is a dead end, then he's going to be looking back, covering our six. Whatever the most demanding angle is, other than the door you're approaching, is what your two-man's going to be watching for the most part. So say you don't know anything about this, the door's closed, and you've got to open it. There's a couple schools of thought. One is opening. You don't want to cross the door. And really that's more of a Real Steel practice because they can shoot through the door, but they can also shoot through the wall. But BBs don't penetrate walls and doors.
You don't have to worry about that in Airsoft. So you are going to break some of those rules for Airsoft. So
what we typically do when we're approaching something like this is I'll hold security, and then once I decide I want to pie this door, I will cross to the opposite side, and if I have my sidearm, I may pull my sidearm and keep holding security here, and I'll kind of sling this, or I may just kind of tuck this in or whatever, and I'll be ready to open this. My two-man's going to be the one pieing, so he's going to switch to security on the door, and he's going to just, as I swing this door, he's going to start pieing it and engaging any threats that he sees as he's coming around. So we'll kind of demonstrate that. So you open it kind of slowly. He's kind of getting all of his angles. Be ready if he starts taking fire and it gets overwhelming, be ready to kind of close this back because, it's Airsoft, so, So you're pieing the door, you come around. When you get to about the 90 degree on this, something that we like to do is, you kind of take it slow as you're pieing around the corner. When you get to that 90 degree, you want to kind of snap into it, right? You want to surprise anyone who's standing there. So a lot of people tend to kind of snap on the 90 degree when they get to that point, and then kind of keep peeking around from there. Really, the only thing that you really can't address is this corner right here, or whichever corner you pie from.
Assuming that the wall here runs all the way down, you can see as you approach, right? When he opens that door, I can see in. I can see pretty much all the way to the back of the room here, but as you can tell here, we're on this wall. The room opens up on the other side. So like you were saying, you can see most of the room, but you think about what's on the other side of that wall, and you're collecting that information as you're pieing. So I know from here, all right, this wall probably doesn't run all the way down. I can tell by the shape of this this doesn't really look like a closet because I don't, that room just looks like there's more stuff running this way. I can tell by furniture and shadows and all that stuff.
And when you open that door, that's gonna be your first view of that room, right? So there's a lot when you get that first glance that you kind of need to be looking out for, and stuff that you need to be asking yourself about the room before you even go in, right?
If you're coming into this room, people are gonna hold that as well as they can. So be prepared for people to be hidden behind stuff, hiding behind other objects in the room, taking cover, laying down, being in those tight corners, waiting for you to walk in.
Yeah.
So this approach is you're trying to collect as much information as you can.
Yeah. There's other methods. You know, obviously, if you have grenades are a great tool to enter a room. Enter a room.
Always follow a grenade with a good push. A good grenade means good push.
Everybody goes in the room as soon as that grenade goes off. There's so many times that we've seen somebody throw a good grenade into a room and it goes off and the one person pushes in and nobody else pushes in behind them. So that's definitely one method to enter a room. And then the grenade, obviously. So kind of talking about if the door is already open, you can still pie that. Typically that looks a little bit different. What we'll do is, if the door is open, we'll approach the door. The one man's holding security. So I'm clearing the back of this already, and I'm holding security here. And then I'll turn and say, I'm gonna pie this, and I'll start pieing. And my two man is gonna switch to holding security on the long angle inside the room. And then I'll get to this 90, snap into it, come to this right here, and then we'll kind of talk about what you can do from there in just a moment. But it's just different scenarios you have to be ready for. Really, the only two is this door being open or closed. Potentially, if it's even like that right there, it's still the same thing. As you're approaching, you still have an angle inside the room. You just work with what you have until you get to about where you can't anymore. And then from there, you can kind of decide how you want to handle it. If you want to switch and open it for your two man, or if you want to just kind of fling it open yourself.
And even here, even here, you could hold security and I can pie around you.
Yeah.
It's you can do it multiple ways. But the idea is just that you're having one person hold while the other person is pieing. Because that, if you hear voices around that corner, you want someone holding that so that no one walks up on your guy. And then same with this way. If I know that there's people down this hall and I don't know if there's anyone in here, I'm going to put most of my attention towards what's happening where I know there's people at. I feel like it's one of those things too where like in the real steel community, it's so important that you don't walk in front of someone else's like muzzle, right?
Yeah.
Like muzzle awareness, super important. Don't want to accidentally shoot your friends. And the same is true for airsoft, but the consequences aren't as bad. So in this scenario, right, if you want to show them again where you're pieing and I'm holding, I'm going to try to get my barrel up in front of Corbin's head. Because if he gets shot at and backs up or something, I don't want him to back up into my barrel and me accidentally shoot him. So now, if he were to push into this wall, like let's say you like fell back into me, it would be better for me to get pushed into the wall and stumble back than to accidentally shoot him in the back of the neck, point blank. Like,
that's a good point.
Keeping your muzzle beyond what is in front of you, your friends and your teammates and stuff. It's never going to be perfect, but anything is better than I literally have watched people clear rooms like this in airsoft where everyone comes up and it's this. Like people will literally just be sitting here like with their barrel right behind someone trying to shoot around them. Or like they'll be going in with their blaster up and it's just like, yeah, I don't know. Just managing, keeping your blaster up on target, but also being aware of who's around you. Like, it takes him half a second to shift. And in that half a second, there's no way that I can stop firing in time, you know? All right, guys, so we're gonna take it from the position of I'm already pieing this. My second man is holding point on the door. making sure nobody kind of comes up on us. I need to do two things in this scenario. One, I need to go ahead and clear what we can't see. That's my job as going in first. The second thing I need to do is I need to draw fire away from the door. Whether you have 2 people or 10 people going into this room, it does not matter if all of that fire is focused right on the threshold of this door. All someone has to do is sit there and spam BBs into this threshold, and everyone who walks through is gonna get hit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly peek this corner that we have not cleared, and then I'm gonna go deep into the room to draw fire away from the door. So I'll show you guys kind of how that looks. I'm pieing. When I'm ready to go in, I'm gonna quickly check this corner and then spin around. And by me continuing deep into the room, that allows my second man and everyone after to hold different angles. So I go deep, draw fire away. Let's say I hit everyone, great, the room's clear. Let's say I hit one person and we trade and now I'm out. Well, I'm still drawing attention away, right? Because it's not like I'm getting hit by a bullet. It's a BB. I'm gonna get hit, it's gonna take me a second to register. I'm gonna raise my hand. That person is probably gonna keep firing until they see my hand go up. So what I'm doing is buying my second man a few seconds of time as I'm coming in, and if I get hit, raising my hand, and he's able to work. This is really important in Airsoft because you can respawn, right? It's not like real life. You get more than one try.
Yeah.
You can be revived. So let's say there was 1 or 2 people in this room. I got hit, but I successfully distracted them long enough for my second man to deal with them. Well, now we have control of this room, and he can, you know, if you have medic rules, he can revive me. I can walk back to respawn. He can hold. He can continue to push. I'm basically earning ground on the battlefield, you know, at the field, and earning us kind of a little bit more of an advance on the objective, or just positioning, really. And in Airsoft, sometimes you're just going to have to be the first one in. You're probably going to get hit. It's going to suck, but you need to be strong and confident in your entry, and you need to not back away from that. So, you know, people talk about in the real steel community, like when you come up to a door, because most walls are sheetrock or what have you, where, you know, there's penetration, they say there is no retreating on a doorway, right? Once you go in, you go in. You don't peek it, get shot at, and drop back, because people can fire through the walls. You can do that in Airsoft most of the time because BBs aren't gonna go through most walls. There may be some holes in the wall or whatever, but
Yeah, watch out for murder holes.
yeah, you have a lot more flexibility in Airsoft, and a lot less consequence. So the important thing there is you're playing to get control of the room. And sometimes it means that you're gonna get hit. So that is kind of our approach to making entry. One last tip for you guys: as the point man, you should be communicating, over communicating to whoever's behind you, because you're seeing what's coming up first. You're interpreting all that information a little bit quicker than everyone because you're front and center. You also need to be able to make calls that are going to support your team. So you are taking on that responsibility of kind of distracting the enemy, getting fire off the door. And you should tell them what your plan is. You know, if you're not going to go deep into the room, you should tell them what's happening. Always over communicate as the point man, and make sure that everyone behind you knows what's going down.
Yeah. I think there's just a few things that as a 2-man or second man on that stack, watching the point man on that, it's some. I mean, yes, there is something to be said about, you know, camaraderie and, you know, knowing your battle buddy. But even if it's some random person that you just met on the field, there are things like you just have to watch them and do the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of common sense. The point man really doesn't need to do or know much more than get into the room, right? Just get clear of this doorway. That's all he has to do. 2-man has the responsibility of, okay, now he's in the room, where do I need to go? He went straight, he went left, he went right. So I did that backwards, but I'm gonna go the opposite direction. I'm gonna I'm gonna watch his off angles. That's what it's all about. And then, you know, as far as, you know, looking into the room, not knowing anything, listen, you're not blind, man. You're not blind.
Yeah.
I'm looking past Isaac right now. I can see into the room from here. You know, that door opens and you're on the stack. When you transfer, you know, okay, that way. I see that the room opens up. I can tell what's going on here. He enters and I know exactly where I need to go, what angles I need to watch, where I need to check. Yeah, it's a lot of common sense. It's a lot of do the opposite. It's a lot of, you know, knowing your battle buddy and just standard operating procedures. Thank you for watching. We've come to the end of the video here where we talk about what we did. This is all really good stuff. It's just stuff that we've been practicing for a number of years. A lot of it is just, we found what works for us. We've watched videos, we've practiced, we've figured out how we kind of work together, what makes sense for us, and then we practice that. And when I say practice, I don't mean like we, you know, come over to each other's house and like, you know,
schedule long periods of time. Like we have done that, but we practice like regularly.
Yeah, we do. It looks more like, you know, at his house, we'll just like go into his room, but we'll stack up on the door. Yeah. You know, and clear it that way.
Sometimes if we're just walking into a space, we'll just practice.
Yeah, we'll entry that room and clear it.
90% of the time we're running fake pistol, but you know, it sounds silly and it really is, but
it is.
I mean, it's just a great way to get some footwork in.
But that's what all this is about. That's what Airsoft is about.
Having fun.
Just pretend and having fun.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching again, and if you like what we're doing over here, you can like and subscribe. That'll push our content into your feed. You can click through to the channel to see the rest of our other videos. We post weekly podcast episodes on Friday, and then twice a month we will post a video like this doing some training, maybe a budget loadout, unboxing or review, stuff of that nature. And then you can also help us grow by sharing the video and leaving a comment. If you want to help support us, that is the #1 way to do that. If you want to DM us, you can head over to Instagram. The handle for that is @port_city_airsoft. We post updates and clips on there, and we're also always checking our DMs. So it's a great way to reach us if you have questions about if you or your friend are trying to get into Airsoft and you need some help. We love helping new players get into the hobby. And that's kind of the whole reason why we exist, is just to help new players and help people kind of enhance their gameplay and get onto the Airsoft field and have fun. You can also follow us on Reddit if you're on there. We post in the r/Airsoft community, answering questions, just trying to be a resource. And also, you guys are a resource as well. You know, commenting on our stuff, not just for us, but also, you know, in this, if you have a room clearing tutorial or technique that you really prefer, leave that in the comments for other players. We really want to help spread the knowledge and make Airsoft accessible for everyone. If you want to support us financially to help us grow and continue to develop the channel, we now have merch. As you can see, I'm repping one of the Port City Airsoft t-shirts. We have hoodies, we have coach jackets, we have hats, like beanies, bucket hats, we have mugs, we have all kind of just a ton of stuff, and we've got more stuff on the way. And we want to hear from you guys, and we're making these videos for you, so we want to know how we can improve. We're always looking for constructive criticism. And that's pretty much everything. That's all the links. That's all the social media stuff.
All of which can be found in the description.
Yeah, all down below. We really love you guys, and hope that we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah.
We should probably.
Yeah.
We probably should. Oh! Let's grab B-roll.
You like that? They just shove you into the room and slam.
I literally thought about doing a back break fall and just falling down, but then I was like, I'll crush my eye back.
Yeah.